We're on.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to It's Happening Now, our second live episode. And today we are going to be talking about the Supreme Court and the major blow that they gave to Biden. It seems to be shaping up in the correct way. If you can see it, the Gateway Pundit, it says, in major blow to Biden regime, Supreme Court allows Texas to enforce immigration law that gives police power to arrest illegals. And what I'm thinking is now that the Supreme Court has given the power to Texas to arrest illegals and deport them, every state now has the power to arrest illegals and deport them. So if the federal government's not doing its job, well, it looks like the states are going to do it for them. What do you think, guys?
I think that sounds correct. From what I saw in a comment on a YouTube video about this very specific thing, one of the first or second comments was, "Let's go Florida. Let's do the same thing." So, I mean, I see it going about the same way. But I am surprised this was a split decision by the Supreme Court. Kind of. So
it was a split decision. That makes sense because you got that one chick. But no, I mean, come on, Ohio. Let's do it. You know, I mean, they're not supposed to be here.
No, not.
And I mean, how many stories have we seen throughout Biden's presidency where illegal immigrants have done some really heinous things to our citizens? Ain't nobody protecting us.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You're 100% right. It's gotten to the point to where they're treated better than American citizens. I think a side note, another story I saw today was a Obama judge declared that illegal aliens have the right to have guns.
Yeah, in that case.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. I mean, like you said, they shouldn't be here. I'd like to see every state get on board with this. If the federal government won't protect us, we got to protect ourselves. And that's simple. And by arming illegal aliens, that's not the right move either in any fashion.
Right.
They don't have our rights. They're not citizens. They don't have the rights that a citizen has. And this is a good thing because now you can be detained on suspicion of being illegal in Texas, which is an interesting thing. I can see how that could turn bad. I can see how they could abuse that, and I can understand why there might be people that would be, I don't know, worried by that. But I seriously doubt when things are this bad that sometimes you have to do this, and hopefully this stops this spread of migrant crisis we have. But I mean, with the gun thing, that's just ridiculous. There's no reason they should have guns like we do. I mean,
the gun thing doesn't make sense at all to me personally because they are working really hard to take our gun rights back or gun rights away, but now they're ruling that illegal immigrants have the right to have guns, defend themselves, which everybody should have the right to defend themselves. Don't get me wrong, but it's the same thing that I read maybe about a month ago where Los Angeles was hiring illegal immigrants to be cops, but then because it was illegal for them to carry guns because they're illegal immigrants, they couldn't take their guns home.
Right.
And
I read that.
Why are they hiring them in the first place, for one? You know what I mean?
Right.
And for two, on this other case that Greg just brought up, again, you're trying to take our rights, but you're trying to give illegal immigrants more rights than we have. I mean, we already have the issue where all these states are giving all these immigrants tens of thousands of dollars. Mm. We have New York City or New York and Michigan both trying to tell the citizens, hey, open your doors to these people. And then what? How do you make them leave at that point, right? Because they established residency.
Well,
once they establish residency, like the case in, I just seen it. There's another story where this lady went to jail for kicking out a squatter.
It's at New York City. I actually read that story earlier.
No, New Jersey. It was New Jersey.
So it's $1 million house that she inherited from her family dying.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Queens, New York. And
so let me pull this up for us. So so they can follow it.
I know we're jumping around a little bit, but bear with us.
It all ties together.
It does.
So this woman, she gets arrested because she goes to this house that she just inherited from her family when she dies. It's a $1 million, family residence in Queens. So she's going to get it ready to be fixed up and sold. So she goes, and the only way she gets in, because someone has changed the locks. A woman leaves, she walks and finds 2 males in there, and they're like, "Oh no, we've only been here a couple of days." Well, so she starts to claim to change the locks, but another man comes home and calls the cops, says he has a lease to the agreement. He can't provide the lease. And so he says the realtor, he signed it with the local realtor, no name for the realtor either. Well, she gets arrested for trying to take possession of her property. I mean, that is ridiculous. This country has gotten ridiculous.
Well, yeah, they got a lot of laws on the books, unfortunately, that protect squatters, I guess, honestly. And it's so hard. There's a whole process you have to go through to get anybody out of your house now that just doesn't make any sense at all. And it's in my opinion, it's illegal. I mean, yes, it's on the books. It's technically legal, but it goes against American people and the homeowners, or property owners. It's not in their best interest at all.
I've never agreed with these so-called laws that squatters have more rights than the homeowner. I mean, I have a personal thing with this because this happened to my brother, my older brother. They took his house, and then he wasn't allowed to go back to his house, but they were ripping and he knew they were doing it. The cops knew they were doing it. They were stripping the walls. They were taking the copper out the walls. Oh, they destroyed his house.
That's terrible.
And but they had the right to do it, and it's like, no, that's my house.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's ridiculous, man, that they will allow somebody who's not supposed to be there to have more rights over that residency than the homeowner, the person who owns the house, or maybe you have a mortgage with that house, or with the bank for that house.
I have Stuart Owen asked a question. I'm going to show that.
Oh, I didn't even see those up there.
The courts just ruled that Texas can't block immigration at the border. No, what you're talking about is they ruled
my wife's seen that same story.
Texas couldn't block the border patrol from doing their duty. But this is a completely separate ruling saying that the police can apprehend suspected illegals and deport them if they so choose. So two different rulings. One was Texas can't block the federal border patrol from patrolling the border by setting up Constantine wire and taking over the park and blocking the border. But the Supreme Court just ruled that they can, their law enforcement can obtain or detain and arrest illegal immigrants for being in the country illegally.
Right.
If that clears it up.
Now, as for what I don't really understand a whole lot about the the squatting laws and things of that nature, but I do believe that those laws were set up to try to protect people that were being unfairly thrown out of situations where they actually had leases and they were actually supposed to be, in their housing. And, I'm sure at one point somebody was like, oh, they're offering me a great deal of money for this property. I could sell it until they could make it like a condominium or something like that. And they were just throwing people out willy-nilly before their lease terms ended, which I agree with trying to protect these people. But at the same time, it's allowed a loophole that has given these squatters the ability to just obtain properties, basically. So we need to close those loopholes and allow.
Whatever happened to breaking and entering? You know what I'm saying? Right. In New York City, these are the their terms of what a squatter is. If it comes up, I don't know what it's doing. Okay, well that's it. There it goes. So it says squatters can claim legal ownership of a property in New York City by meeting specific requirements, including continuous, open, notorious, and hostile possession of the property for the statutory period, along with paying property taxes and making improvements. In New York City, squatters must occupy a property continuously for at least 10 years to claim adverse possession. However, there is a unique 30-day rule that allows squatters to claim legal residency in a property after living there for just 30 days. After 30 days, the inhabiting a property, a squatter in New York can be considered a legal tenant, making it more difficult for property owners to evict them. To evict a squatter in New York, property owners must serve a formal notice, file an eviction lawsuit if the squatter doesn't vacate, and seek law enforcement assistance for removal if necessary, following the specific notice period required based on the situation. Squatters in New York City can be evicted by the property owner at any time, but the eviction process can be lengthy and expensive. So, how fair is that? If you go out of country for a month because maybe a relative you know that lives in Europe has died and you're gone for a month, I can break in your house and claim legal ownership of it, and you have to evict me?
Right.
Nothing. I mean,
That's,
that is.
I believe the same thing happens in Ohio where we live. Is if somebody puts your mailing address down and they're there for X amount of time, I don't know exactly how long that is, you have to go through a whole process to get rid of them. You have to basically file paperwork, give them the paperwork. I mean, it could take up to a year to get these people out of your property. You may even have to actually drag them into court to do so. And these laws are
most of the time.
Yeah, these laws are absolutely ridiculous. There's no common sense whatsoever. They're just, it's like they've found some loophole to give away everybody's property to somebody that doesn't have it.
Yeah, and it's not right. I mean, they shouldn't just be able to take somebody's property like that. Like I said, I had a personal thing with it because they did that to my brother and destroyed his house.
Right.
It's worthless now.
I've heard so many stories like that too, and there's no legal recourse for it. All you can do is either sell the house the way it is, or just
they put a restraining order on my brother.
Yeah, right.
He wasn't allowed to go over there.
Right.
Like, how does a squatter put a restraining order on the homeowner?
Okay, so just so you said, Ohio squatter rights. It's a little bit more tough, but it says in Ohio, adverse possession, a possessor must prove by clear and convincing evidence that they have exclusive possession that is open, notorious, continuous, and adverse to the true property owner's rights for a period of 21 years. Now, this is really funny. After I read this blows my mind. So before you go claiming that you have squatter rights, be sure to get a survey of your property and familiarize yourself with its correct boundaries and limits. This way, you will know if someone else has wrongfully set up camp on your land. So they're saying, tell the squatters to watch out for squatters.
Right. Exactly. That's what I mean. Honestly, I watched a news story a little while back that said something to the effect of this woman let a coworker, whatever, move into her house because they were down and out on their luck or whatever. She was being nice. And after X amount of time, she's like, look, I'd like you to leave, and she's like, no, I'm not leaving. And it took this woman over a year to get this other woman out of her house. I mean, she called the cops and everything. They're like, we can't do anything. We can't take her away. We can ask her politely to leave, but we can't force her.
I mean, but it's,
hey, just to go back to the Texas thing, this is what my wife, this is the stuff she read earlier. They said it's only up to the federal government to enforce being able to detain and deport the illegals. I think she meant to say the illegal. It's not up to the state to enforce that, even though the states are the ones dealing with them.
All right,
But that's strange because according to the stuff
I'm
that
saying
I've
like
read-
right before we started it, that's what like she was telling me about the news story that she just heard on the news.
I just heard the same story on the news, or a different story on the news that just said that they are able to now do what their state law said.
Right.
Right. So now they're confusing it. Look, but
report.
now they're trying to confuse everybody.
Yeah.
Do they have the right? Do they not have the right? Like it's now there's conflicting evidence or
Nonetheless,
news
Texas
stories.
just said that they're doing it, so Texas is going to do it, I guess.
Well,
so
we all know Texas. We all know Texas is going to do whatever they want. You know what I mean? They've already proven that. They don't care what Biden says. They don't care what the Supreme Court says. They're going to do them, and I respect that.
I'm kind of unsure why the rest of the country even gives a crap what Biden says anymore. Because honestly, he's an idiot.
Can I put this truck in reverse for a second? Take us back to the guns
Go ahead.
we were talking about the Obama judge saying that illegals can own guns. How come as an American you have to go through an extensive background check to own a gun? That's illegal. They don't even know if I'm telling you my real name.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
What kind of safety precautions does the illegal get? I mean, illegal with no documentation, no social security card, no birth certificate, walk in and say, my name is Rodriguez Montoya, and they killed my father. I'd like a Colt 45.
Yeah, right.
They don't know who it is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It could be anybody. This is
these people know that these gun laws that they put into place do not work. It's a trick. It's all to trick you into giving up your rights as a legal citizen of the United States. It's a trick to get to you.
right.
We should have gun background checks. All these different laws to protect you. When all they're doing in reality is stripping you of your right to defend yourself.
Right.
And then now look what they're doing. Now they're allowing illegal immigrants to own more guns than you probably can, and probably easier to get it.
Yeah,
I mean, look at what the places with the most strict gun laws are the most out of hand cities in our country.
For gun violence.
So these gun laws, the gun laws don't work. They make no sense. And I always say this: an armed society is a polite society.
Look,
if you know your neighbor's got a gun in his house, you are not going to go in your neighbor's house and try to take what he owns.
No.
Right.
If you know your neighbor's unarmed, well, depends on what kind of person you are.
Food and I need food. Guess whose food is now my food?
Right.
Right.
I mean, it's a criminal doesn't care about the laws. If they did, they wouldn't be criminals. You know what I mean? Somebody who's going out and gunning down people in the streets, he doesn't care about your gun laws. Every state, it's illegal to murder. You know what I mean? And they don't care. So the only people that you're disarming with gun laws is the honest, law-abiding people. The criminals don't care. They have a gun illegally. They're gonna use their gun illegally. It's ludicrous in every sense. And do you know how many guns I could buy with an $8,000 government gift card?
Right.
That's a lot of.
If I owned a gun shop, I'd be happy to see you.
Yeah. Right. Oh yeah. What's your name?
Well, yeah,
I really don't care because there's no documentation that says you're even here. So
here, let me help you. Here, let me help you fill that paperwork out.
Right. Exactly. Going back to the law, I mean, the way I've understood it is the states overrule the federal law.
Depending.
99% of the time.
See,
it really does depend.
Well, yes, but in my opinion, if I'm calling for the federal government to say,
usually federal law trumps state law.
But it depends. Like the
not
Constitution
necessarily.
Well, look, you can say that, but look at California when they legalized marijuana. There were DEA agents on the federal agents were going in there and taking their money because they couldn't.
A federal crime.
Yeah. So they superseded state law with federal law.
I would drag that into court all day long. Now I may not.
Well, I'm sure they did.
But it doesn't.
Look,
matter.
if the federal government's job is to protect our borders, and they're not doing it when we call and say, "Hey, this is an issue," you've left them no choice then.
Well,
and I say it's the states get to do whatever the states need to do.
You know what that
to
means?
Protect themselves.
You know what that means? our federal government's acting illegally. If there's
Exactly.
laws on the books and they're not following
Right.
them, we're breaking the law. And it's time for Washington to be held accountable for the laws they break. They're not rulers. They're not above us. They are people elected by the people who feel like they are overlords. And
Yeah,
they're what?
they're supposed to represent us.
Yep.
And fulfill our wishes.
Right.
Not the other way around where you do as you're told. Like I said, man, I've said this plenty of times on here. But to them, we are peasants. You know what I mean? And that's all we are.
I feel like a
Oh
peasant.
yeah.
And we're
You do, don't you?
Yeah, most of the time.
I don't know, man.
I literally just went to the grocery store. I bought 3 packs of hamburger buns. I bought a thing of shredded cheese, the bigger bag, the 4-cup shredded cheese, a jar of peanut butter, a gallon of chocolate milk, and I think it was a half. I was asked to get a half pound of bologna, so a little container of macaroni salad and potato salad to go with the hamburger. $50. $50.
Right.
Insane.
Right.
So, that story sounds like baloney.
I might have the receipt. Let me check.
I'm just. You said baloney. I say bologna.
I didn't have that many groceries over the weekend. I had to buy some things, and it $300. I can never get out of a grocery store for under $300 anymore. And it's ridiculous.
I remember when eggs went up the first time. Then they kind of went back down, and my wife was like, "Hey, eggs went back down." Then I go to the grocery store with her on Saturday, this past Saturday, and she was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, they're probably skyrocketed again.
White 2% milk was $2 or $3.10. A gallon of chocolate milk, $2.89.
What? Shut up! I'm gonna be drinking that chocolate milk.
Yeah.
It's cheaper.
It is cheap. That I don't know why.
But usually the chocolate milk costs more.
That's what I'm saying. But load up on chocolate. There's only 2 gallons left. Everybody's drinking.
Apparently, chocolate milk's not chocolate milk.
Shut your mouth and drink chocolate milk.
You leave my chocolate milk alone.
Strawberry milk, mommy. Too bad. That's $4.99 a gallon.
Right.
Oh, we've got lost in the.
Yeah, we did a little bit.
We normally do.
Yeah, we always do that. It makes it a little bit easier. We're on a shorter time limit.
Yeah, we won't go too far off the rails.
All right. But I mean, to take it back to the Texas thing, I mean, I hope the Supreme Court did do that. I mean, apparently there was an article at 2:00 that said that they did. That's the one we showed at first, right? That was today at 2:00. As slow as the Supreme Court rules, I don't think they just switched it up. But
I have
they should be able to defend their own borders, whether they use federal agents or their own police department to do so. The state cops, they should be able to defend their own borders, man. We need to start defending our borders.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I'm seeing from multiple sources here, AP News, PBS, that they lifted their stay on the Texas law. So it allows them to do their law. So
okay.
According to every site I'm seeing right now, that's what's happening.
Right.
There's another story I
should.
want to touch on, just to get your guys' your thought of it, and see if I can find it. Okay, right here it is. Let me bring this up. I found this interesting earlier, and we'll see if you guys find it interesting as well. Let me get this up here. Now, this is what it says right here. Michigan lawyer Stephanie Lambert arrested by U.S. Marshals in D.C. following court appearance after submitting evidence of numerous crimes, including internal emails from Dominion voting systems to law enforcement. So, why is a lawyer who is submitting crimes against the federal government for election interference, cheating, whatever these evidence, allegations were, by
Right.
federal marshals. To me, it seems like they're hiding it from us. They don't want us to know. They don't want us to see what truly
Well, it sounds like to me she stumbled on something she wasn't supposed to see.
Right.
Or
exactly it.
it could be possible that the Michigan officials arrested her in order to put her in a position where she's not hunted down. Maybe she's in protection so that she can't be killed, maybe by these people that definitely don't want stuff like this to come out.
That's an
Sounds like you're-
interesting
Sounds like you're sounds like you're reaching, bro.
That's a
Saturday
story.
rabbit hole, but
That's a Saturday story.
they don't.
That's true. But in this society, I don't put nothing past nobody anymore.
She was from Michigan, correct?
Right. Yeah, she was from Michigan.
Now,
yeah, it was Michigan.
Let's look at this story that goes along with it for the last few moments. Berry County Sheriff sends evidence to Rep. Jim Jordan alleging foreign interference in voting machines across the state during 2020 election, demands immediate review and investigation. Well, if you look over his shoulder, we are talking about Michigan again. So these are two stories.
So why is he talking to? Well,
Jim Jordan, because Jim Jordan don't mess around.
but he ain't from Michigan. He's from the great state of Ohio, bro.
I believe Jim Jordan is the one that's right now got the investigation power.
He does.
Charged of the committee of weaponizing the government, I think, isn't it? He's the chair of that committee, something like that.
Something like that. I can't remember. But yeah, I was making a joke.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
You see how to see how I went. Nothing goes over my head. I will catch it.
He's head up my head. Stop the bull crap. That's what he's. I just got attacked by a cat. A cat just ran in here and attacked my leg and ran out.
I was just trying to give some props to the great state of Ohio, bro.
Oh wait,
very true on the Hillary comment that we got. Very true.
Yeah, right. Yeah, she might want to be careful. And
you see what my wife just said?
I mean, yeah, I'm sure the marshals. I don't know if they're going to protect her.
If she saw something she shouldn't have seen, Hillary may come for her.
Right,
come after her.
Right.
Way to go, Amber.
Yeah, that's true. You got to be very careful.
People are going to start committing suicide over the property.
Right.
The problem with us is we just don't seem to care, so we kind of say whatever we want. I mean,
who don't care?
The whole bullets to the.
I don't care about Michigan.
Yeah, well, no, I'm just mean us. We say a lot of things on here. I'm sure people don't like. But
apparently, there's a lot of cheating in Michigan. You know what I mean? They cheated in almost all the football games. They cheated in
all the football. Are we really going to do that? Are we going there?
That's a fact. It's proven.
Oh, come on.
That's proven.
Not a fact.
Jim Harbaugh got suspended from. And they were thinking about taking away the championship games in a lot of his games because he cheated.
Yeah, they were filming other teams.
I still think we should save that for a conspiracy theory story, though. On
Jim Harbaugh's mentor is, don't you? He used to coach a football team up in Boston. I think we all know his name.
Remind me.
Belichick? You got the Patriots ex-head coach, Deflategate, Spygate. So, what are you gonna?
Was it not allowed to say his name?
No, I was just trying to get somebody to say it. That way, if you get in trouble, that's not me. I don't.
Oh, they won't let me say that. Do you see that?
What?
I'm not going to say it because YouTube won't let me comment on that. Do you see that over there?
Which one?
No, I can't see any comment.
Okay, YouTube blocked it. YouTube blocked it. It's the bottom one, but if you guys can't see, YouTube blocked it.
What are you trying to say? Getting us in trouble?
I was just making a joke, and I guess it went too far.
Is it on the private chat? Or
no, it's on ours. You guys can't see it. It says YouTube rejected your comment. This usually means they think it's spam. Try changing it a bit.
Was it from?
How do I change it?
Was it from you?
It was from me. I was making a joke about what she said.
Okay. All right.
Anyway, guys, we're getting close here.
We're getting close
to the end.
And horseshoes and hand grenades.
That's true.
Also counts with that little timer up there in the corner of your screen.
I just saw that Stuart has told us where chocolate milk comes. It comes from the cocoa cows. And
yeah, we all knew that.
Yeah.
Choco cows.
Well, it's Choco cows right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
This
they,
is true.
I like the Choco cows teat milk. You know what I mean?
I like how you try to
Yeah,
word it.
it is.
Try to word it a little better.
All right.
It's utter butter.
I think with that, we're about done, I believe, for time. So
Don't do a
wanna
podcast
close this
5
out?
hours of sleep. Just
Mm.
just tell everybody that you told Duffer to close this out. Just
Do you want me to? I
you
wasn't
guys
going
have a
to.
good night. Let's tell our people goodbye. You all have a good night. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting us.
We appreciate
God
you.
bless our troops. God bless our country.
God bless America. Like, subscribe, share, please.
Smash that bell. Put a
Yeah.
crack in it like the Liberty Bell.
Right.
There you go. That means hit it
and,
hard.
Yeah, hit that hard, like a udder of a taco cow. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yep. See you tomorrow.
Have a good
Yep.
night.
Peace out. I'm not a crook.
I'm not a crook.
Not a crook.